It don't matter, the words I sing, they're just chatter. There's nothing I can say to you. It means much as what I do.
Okay, well, let's get on to our fourth one. Let's have Nina Simon.
Thanks, and it's fortuitous to be after Jacob because I also want to talk about place. And I want to start with a question. I'm curious, when you have visitors who come to Santa Cruz and they say, take me to the place that shows me what Santa Cruz is all about, where do you take them? I don't even do that. I've been trying to answer this question for 7 years since I moved here to Santa Cruz. At the time that I came here from Washington, D.C. in 2007, our answer to that question was about nature. My husband and I both had work we could do from anywhere, and we decided we wanted to be in the absolute most beautiful place to do it. And for us, that meant redwoods, it meant the beach, and it meant this progressive, open spirit we have here that didn't really have a placeness to it. And so we joined the thousands of people who live here in Santa Cruz and work elsewhere. How many people are or have been in this situation? There are a few hands up because those people, the ones going over 17, the ones like me who are getting on planes every other week, we're like ghosts. Those 4 years for me were like ghost years here in Santa Cruz. I cared so much about being here, but my work and my energy were elsewhere, and it was hard for me to figure out a way to plug into this community. I left early. I came home late. I'd be here on the weekends and I'd fuel up on the Santa Cruz experiences that were resonant for me, but I didn't have the time or energy or wherewithal to even figure out where that community was that I could connect to, who was in it, where it lived, what it did. I felt like those years were ghost years, and I was a hungry ghost, searching for a way to connect. For me, all of that changed 3 years ago when I got tapped to be the director of the Santa Cruz Museum of Art and History. I was brought in very explicitly to execute a turnaround. I was asked to lead the museum to become a thriving central gathering place for our community, a place that really celebrates the culture and the art and the history of our place. And I think over the last 3 years we've done that. We've worked with over 5,000 community partners and 120,000 visitors over 3 years to transform the museum into a vibrant place, into the place that it was intended to be. And for me, really personally, this job has given me an incredible gift. I'm not a ghost anymore. I feel embedded in this community, and that sense of connection I feel makes me want to give that gift to the other ghosts who I know are still in our community. And that brings me back to that question I started with, that question about our identity and place. Where is that place that tells us who we are, that helps us connect with each other, that helps us feel real and present? And despite what you might be thinking, I don't think the museum is that place. I actually don't think that that place can be any place that has walls and doors. I think that place has to be a public place. It has to be a place where your kids can play. It has to be a place where you could stop by every day. It has to be a place where late at night when you're downtown and you're a little tipsy, you drag your friends there and you say, this is what Santa Cruz is all about. This is who we are. I don't think we have that place in Santa Cruz. I've seen glimpses of it at the museum, at Bookshop Santa Cruz, at events like this, but I don't think we have that town square, that gathering place that is our heart place, that is our identity place, that is our culture place. And so what I've been doing over the last year is starting to work to try and figure out how to build that place here in downtown Santa Cruz in a place called Abbott Square. Abbott Square is the wedge of concrete between the museum, the Cooper House, the Octagon, and Cooper Street. Right now, it's a leftover place from the rebuilding of downtown after the earthquake. But I believe that we can transform it into an extraordinary place, a place to be inspired, a place to hang out, a place to connect, a place to call our own. And it's no coincidence that we are doing this work in the context of a raging debate here in downtown about what our downtown should be. And even though that's a debate that I think has been mostly cast as being about commerce and safety, I actually think it's about identity. I think it's about who we are. It's about who controls downtown, what happens there, and who's involved in it. The city is doing what they can to really address some of the challenges downtown. And they're using the tools that the city has, passing ordinances, enforcing regulations, making partnerships. But the city can't build culture. It can only regulate it. And so the Great Morgani leaves downtown, but the Greenpeacers are still there with their clipboards to solicit you, and we don't get exactly what we want. And I'm afraid that we're going to regulate that culture and that openness and that spirit out of downtown if we just focus on regulation. I think the city needs our help. We need to complement that regulation with work to actively build and celebrate the culture and identity that is ours, so that that heart and that spirit stays downtown. That's what we're trying to do in Abbott Square. My dream is that Abbott Square is going to be a free place, a place you don't have to pay to play. That it's going to be a place where you can hang out without being harassed, but you can also linger without being criminalized. That it'll be a place where the tremendous artists and performers and cultural organizations in our community can show and share what they do with the rest of us. That it'll be a place that's an inclusive place, bringing people together across differences. That it'll be a welcoming place, both for those who already love downtown and for those who might be unsure of it. It might sound impossible to you to build that kind of place in downtown Santa Cruz. But I know it's possible because all of those attributes are already within us. They are what we are about here in Santa Cruz. I think we just need to pull that energy, that culture, that identity into a place that we can then point to and say, this is our place. This is the place we call our own. You know, often when we talk about this in the arts field, we talk about this in the context of what's called placemaking. And basically the idea of placemaking is that art can involve activities, not just sculpture and paintings, but art-making activities, events, art sharing, that can take an intersection or a riverfront or a lousy concrete wedge in downtown and turn it into a place with identity and heart. Art can connect us to a place, and those places can connect us to each other. And so yes, I feel like art is placemaking. But art is also future making. Art rejects the limitations of regulation. It rejects the limitations of what we are or what we've been, and it says instead, let's dream about what we could be. That's what we're trying to do, to dream of an Abbott Square that can help us transform downtown into a place where commerce and community and creativity all can come together and support each other. I'm dreaming of that place in Abbott Square. And I want to invite all of you to dream along with us to make it real. Thank you.
Thank you, Nina. So what do you think? We start off pretty good so far? Awesome. I love that. I mean, this is exactly what I wanted, is, just the four first speakers, they're passionate about what they do. And, of course, it's interesting the passion you guys have for the actual things that you're passionate about, but there's 150 people here, and we have our passions, and by looking at how passionate you are about those things, it makes us excited about what we do, and that's really important. So thank you so much for getting us off to a good start. So let's talk. Let's talk to each other. We have like about 150 plus people here. Let's talk about what their passions are, and we have about 10-15 minutes intermission, and then we'll come back for our next four speakers. Thank you very much.